Imagine what it's like to be late all the time and then your body immediately telling you that hey, you need to be late again because why would you not want to be late? I don't want to get into why it's TMI. But how is everybody doing today? So we have 107 people in the chat and I have 107 little droplets of phlegm in my throat, and they will not leave me alone. And I like every one of you guys. I like having over 100 of you guys here. I don't like having over 100 of these little guys back here. These ones are not fun. You guys are, at least some of you. I mean, I can make an argument against some of you, and the ones I have to make an argument against, I'm sure I can get Orla to eat. Velas, you said you can barely hear me? Let me see. Let me see if I can fix that real quick. I'm not going to put it up here we go. We'll put it at neg 4 7. That'll work. That'll work. There we go. Is it still bad? Hold on. Let's see if I can. Hold on. Let's see if I can. Oh, wow. That's not good. Hold on. What mic is this grabbing? Why is it grabbing that one? Let's see is it better now? Is it better now? No, it's not. No, it is certainly not better now. What the hell? Okay, let's yeah, all the settings are right. Okay, we're just gonna do this then. Today's going to begin with microphone tests in real time, I swear. Alright, time to test. Alright, time to test. Why is that sound so bad? What the fuck? What mic is it grabbing? It sounds like it's grabbing my microphone. Let's do that. Okay, it's not that one. No, it's definitely grabbing the Yeti. What the fuck happened with the Yeti? What in the world happened with you, buddy? Okay, how about that? Oh dear. That is a horrible sound, I'm sure. That is a horrible... What the fuck, Yeti? Since when did you become awful? Jesus. Okay, I am so sorry. This is audio testing with Cirrus. This is audio testing with Cirrus. Okay, now pop that back there. Audio testing, again. Audio testing, again. What the flying fuck? Why are you broken? Yeah, big technical issues. Huge technical issues. What in the world is going on with this? No, should be quiet. I know what my mic is supposed to sound like, and this is certainly not it. I know what my mic is supposed to sound like, and this is certainly not it. Why is it doing that? Why is it doing... Okay, hold on. I gotta figure this out. Let's see. Test. Do you read me? Big Tech going for Cirrus and his lack of hammers. Hey. I have a hammer. I'm available to use that thing. But here, for those who are new on the stream, this is what a stream is supposed to sound like. It's supposed to sound like this. That is that... Honestly, guys, I'm tired. I'm really tired. That's what it's supposed to sound like. What I want to do, more than... But that's not what it sounds like. It sounds like this. It sounds like this. Is it possible an effect is on? It shouldn't be. Hold on, let me... It's definitely picking up from the right mic. wait a minute. What if we tried it now? What if we tried it now? Was that what it is? Is that what it was the whole time? Guys, does it sound like it's supposed to now? It would the whole time. The whole time it was that the microphone was turned the wrong way. Yes, it was an ID10T error. But see, I generally spell ID10T errors like this. That's the ID10T error. That whole time it was me. It was me. I did it. I did that. I'm the one that made the mistake. Wow, that's... There we go. I did it. All of that could have been fixed by me just turning the goddamn mic around. That's all it was. That's all it was the whole time. It was my fault from the beginning. I swear. Okay, guys, here. I need you to do me a huge favor. All of you people who have Twitter, every one of you who has Twitter, I need you to retweet the tweet that I put out saying that I was going live, making fun of me for everything that just happened there. Here, I'll even make it easy. I'll even make it easy for you. I will grab the tweet for you. This is your chance, everyone. This is your chance to cyberbully me. Hop on Twitter. It's time to cyberbully me. I made the worst. Yes, Orla, I just boomered. I just did a big old boomer. I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna be back. I need to go reassess my life. So, if you want to know what I was actually doing, I was getting Raz a drink because Raz is having a bad day too. Because this girl here, yes, Growlithe, you. This girl decided that she was going to have a dump in the kitchen. Didn't you? Right after being outside. Right after being outside for an hour. Yeah, I know. You feel bad, don't you? You were outside for an hour, and yet, you, Growlithe, took a shit in the kitchen. Come here. Come here, you big doofus. Why would you take a poop in the kitchen? You had a perfectly good backyard for so long. This is why stuffed animals are superior to pets. Some days I believe that. Some days I believe that. Here, Growly. Come here. Come here. Don't go chasing cats. Not yet. I want you up here because you, for your sins and transgressions, you have to be lapdog. For all your sins, you must be up here. Ugh. Oh, you get a pet because they're family. Okay. Hello. Oh, are you... Yumi? I didn't want you here too. Yumi. I already have Growlithe on me. Oh my god. Britt, the reason for that is that the money slider down there tracks Streamlabs donations. Streamlabs donations are how we get that slider going up. If it is a super chat donation or otherwise, YouTube takes a certain cut and it does not calculate on the slider. Okay, I guess I have a you too now, huh? Don't I? What a good girl. Hello, baby girl. Hello, Yumi. Oh no. You've had plenty of time, Growlithe. You had time outside. You had time in here. You don't need to go out to the bathroom. Oh my god. Okay. Hi, baby. Barry Surus and pets. What you doing, Growly? Coming up here again? Or are you just coming to bully Yumi? Yumi just gave you snuggles. That's rare. Well then. You know, the link that just popped up, that is the donate here link, and that is the link for donating to this stream. If you want to donate into to raise that number right there for this week's goal, then that is how you do that. And I'm going to be setting that goal at about 200 just any given week so that I can start like having money available to not freak out whenever literally everything breaks. Because it's been so often that either the house runs out of gas because we are on propane, or we will just randomly have an entire kitchen implode on itself or something. And suddenly, we're having to do some kind of fundraiser. So this is an attempt to not have that problem happen anymore. Yeah. How's everybody holding up after the shit show? As well as they can, I imagine. Oh my god. We have a cat who is trapped in a room. Let me go. Let me go make sure that the cat is no longer trapped. Yumi, no. Come on. Thank you, Terror. Oh my gosh. I want to get on topic so bad. But I just can't. Not when all the pets are actual idiots. Oh no, the cage is empty. Who would have done that? Jesus. From what I understand, spiders make pretty good pets. If you, there are certain spiders that just simply won't bite you, and are actually like decently nice. Some spiders are even cuddly. But it is only certain spiders that are like that. Alrighty. Whew. Love my pets. All they do is sleep. Sleeping pets are a bonus. Sleeping pets are a benefit sometimes. Especially when I'm just like so tired of random shit. Also, if anybody is not a patron and hasn't seen or doesn't have Twitter and hasn't seen the thumbnail for the video that's on Patreon right now, I'll go ahead and show you. It's awful. My Patreon has this bad habit of grabbing the worst thumbnails for everything. Like, look at that thing. Freaking Ghost Chan. I love that art that Ghost Chan put up. I'll show you guys here in a second. But yeah, no, that just grabs the worst faces. How many pets do I have? We have 6. We have 5 cats and 1 dog. Growlith, who's over there. Hi, Growly. Do you want to come over here and say hello again? Or just want to be over there? Is it? Come here. Come on. So there is Growlith, who is here. I'll make it a little easier to see. And just, well, no, you can't see her now. She's behind that. So yeah, we have Growlith, 1 dog. We have Yumi, who's the orange cat you saw before. We have Gigi, who is the black cat right there. Then we have Hylia, who's also a black cat. We have Baba and Terror, who are sisters. And that's it. See, we don't have to worry about a limit on any animals right now because we actually own the house. So that also is why we've had to spend so much money on repairing the damn thing. In the last few minutes, though, we have gotten a $10 donation from Taben Speak. Thank you for the streams this hard week, and thank you very much, Taben Speak, for the $10. It has been a absolute shit week. I did a 14.5-hour long stream earlier, and I just do not wish to do that again at any point. There's no part of me that wishes to engage in a 14.5-hour stream again for any amount of time. We also have a $10 donation from Britzkrieg. Thank you very much for the $10 donation. And let us see where we are at right now. Before we get into any topics, right now, I do have a question for everyone. A very important question. There are 2 questions, actually. The first one is, what in the hell are you putting in your mouth right now? And you don't PG-13 if possible. For me, it's Diet Dr. Pepper. I finally got my thermos cleaned again, so I don't have to get up and refill a drink every hour like I was doing with my mason jar. In fact, actually, I haven't done dishes yet because that mason jar is still here. Neato! So that'd be the first one. Is it how many... Phrasing. No, phrasing is perfect. The phrasing was perfectly intentional. It was everything I could have wanted and more. I love how YouTube chat is super broken. So, not only am I asking, what are you drinking? But if you were to have a Nerf war, what weapon would you bring? Primary and sidearm. I'd be bringing a C to S, but, like, if I had to be pressed, I'd probably use my Nexus. And my sidearm would be one of these. One of these babies. One of these guys. It's a little Blitzfire. Those be my weapons. But if you want to tell me what yours are, I will gladly hear them. Nekura says Arizona green tea, which I imagine is a response to what are you putting in your mouth, not what weapon would you bring to a Nerf war. But if you did bring like a green tea bomb to a Nerf war, that would at least be interesting. Cirrus needs a wooden cup like Oceans. No, I'm good with mason jars. Every single time I have spaghetti, we get new glassware. It's great. You're a Nerf conscientious objector. Ha! Andrew Blood says they'd bring the Nerf nuke. You just have two classic Nerf pistols. One is modified, but which pistols are they? I'm going to take a guess that it's either a strong arm or a hammer shot. Unless they're jolts. Unless they're jolts. Comrade Backpack says a strife and a hammer shot. Okay, so you're using, like, the old school loadout. The strife primary and hammer shot secondary, or strong arm secondary, comrade. That makes sense. Nothing. I haven't had Nerf guns in years. Well, Faber, that's where we fix that. Brian Stevens says, dual modded strifes with an N-Strike Jolly Blaster in my pocket. Okay. Oh, N-Strike Jolt. Okay. Fair enough. Like I said, modified stripes are good. Modified strikes are great. Or stripes are great. Are there Nerf spears? Not really, only because... And not like you can get like a Nerf bayonet, but a spear is a bit harder because the bigger you make it, the more dangerous it is to mess with. You're making me want to modify a Nerf gun so it can shoot cat toys. Jesus. Also, thank you very much, Decoradol, for the membership. You now have access to the emotes. Go ahead and use emotes in the chat as you so wish. Speech says using two Mavericks. Mavericks, that's the I can't remember what the Maverick is. One sec. I'm gonna check real quick. Let's see. Oh, that's the precursor to the strong arm. It's a reshell of the strong arm. That's what it is. Okay. I recognize it now. Nerf bow and arrows? Yeah, if you want to bring a faux bow, that's fine. Decora just upgraded their membership to Holy Hammerite. Holy shit. Thank you very much, Decora, for the upgraded membership. Y'all have access to many emote now. So you use Super Soakers, literally gets to 40 degrees Celsius here. Fair. Jack says, I'm making custom shells based on the weapons in my comic, but I haven't decided on base models yet. Thoughts? What type of weapons are they? Are they snipers? Are they, like, assault rifles? Are they handguns, shotguns, what have you? Because I can tell you weapons that will make good for a base for those. Like, I can do that. There are foam swords you could bring. I would make you bring like decently small ones. Hey Yumi, I see you are in camera. I mean, because his thoughts on the kinds of paintball that you play in the woods and such. So I haven't played paintball. I've done BB guns, I've done airsoft, I've done real weaponry, and then I've done Nerf, but I have not actually done paintball. Like, of all the firearms-related things, I haven't done paintball, strangely enough. Andrew says, heavy machine gun Nerf. Okay, so I could introduce you to a lovely weapon called the X-Shot Crusher. Look that up, Andrew. Look up the X-Shot Crusher. You might actually like that a lot for what you'd be going for. Cyrus gets jealous if you bring a bigger sword than his. Hey, Jack, I have fought you in a sword fight. Do you need special paint to play in the woods? So generally what you want to do is there's two things you can do. You can actually use a gel weapon. The gel decomposes pretty easy, and then you also have the option of using there's a biodegradable type paint where it's almost purely water based, and that stuff is fine to use in the woods too. Close range paintballs cause welts. Yes, they do, but here's the thing. This causes welts, and this is a Nerf gun. This weapon right here, if it is using the correct ammo, causes welts. So I understand paintball close range causes welts, but so do performance Nerf guns. Choose an anime weapon. Probably like a two-sided sword. X-Shot Crusher is more like a medium machine gun. I want it to be heavy carry and have a mounted cart. Oh, then what you might be looking for then would be like... hold on. Let me think. Let me think. Dart Zone does a good weapon like that, but I don't remember what it is offhand. Let's see. Come for the discussion on Classically Abby, stay for the Nerf gun enthusiast, and that's what generally happens here. We'll bounce between the actual like proper topics and then geeking out about random shit. Does anyone know if Nerf has a sniper rifle? Yes, Lord Bleck. I want you to look up both the Nerf Long Strike and the Nerf Long Shot, and then the X-Shot Zuru Regenerator. All three of these will serve your sniper rifle needs, but every one of them, it doesn't matter which one they are, every one of those has to be modified before they can function as a sniper. But all of those are what you're looking for. Like... Here, I will show you real quick. This is an X-Shot Regenerator. This right here. This is a regenerator. That is more than likely exactly what you're looking for. But it's gotta be modified before it will work for what you need. How expensive would this thing be? The regenerator's $35. Oh, you want an actual sword replica of Future Trunks' sword? So an actual replica of Future Trunks' sword is probably going to run you about $60 to $100. Yeah, this is a regenerator, but you can also go for this guy, a Nerf Long Shot. This will also serve your needs right here. Decora Roll with the $50. Holy shit, with the $50 donation. Thank you so much for doing what you're doing. Your live streams will help me keep my sanity. When a member of my family told me that they would be one of the traders that were at the Capitol the other day. Also, house repairs. Thank you very much for the incredibly generous $50 donation. And thank you very much for becoming a member as well. That is a massive chunk of change. Jesus. Thank you so much for that. Yeah,
Thank you so much for doing what you are doing. Your live streams have helped me keep my sanity. When a member of my family told me that they would be one of the traders that were at the Capitol the other day. Also house repairs.
I completely forgot that we have that set up. So if anybody wants to torture me, then that is a thing that they can do, is just donate lots of money through Super Chat, and it will force read those things. Yes, we are going to be tackling Steven Anderson today. You're really hungry at the moment. Can someone please recommend budget meals? Marcy, if I were to suggest something, it would be very biased right now because of what I just had for breakfast, but spaghetti. Spaghetti is an incredibly good budget meal. Like, massively good. Like, Eggs and rice is good. But yeah, if you want a good meal that's gonna give you like all of your nutrients, just grab whatever cheap meat you can find, as cheap as possible. It can even be canned meat if it's going in spaghetti. It's fine. Blend it up as thin as you can so that it can spread to every bit of the sauce, and then use just dry ingredients like the dry minced onion and stuff like that, so that you don't have to worry about like getting fresh stuff, and just boil your noodles with like a bouillon cube or something. I spent about $10 in ingredients and made about 5 days worth of spaghetti a couple days ago. Yeah, spaghetti is probably one of the best budget meals. But Marcy, if you want to be more specific, then yeah, go right ahead. Prison Pocket is good. Oh, Prison Pocket. That is when you have your that's your ramen noodles when you make them in the bag, right? If memory serves. I could be wrong, but I believe that's what that is off my thoughts here. Plant-based pasta for vitamins, yes, but plant-based pasta usually costs more. So I generally would not be a fan of that. Oh, also, this thing, just for giggles. So, in all technicality, this guy right here is not as good as this guy right here, right? This is a Nexus, that is a Sita. A Sita is technically not as good. It's not as versatile. It's harder to aim. And it has this tendency to double load darts. But if I had to bring one, I would bring this. I like my Sita more than I like my Nexus, even though I recognize that my Nexus is objectively better. Yeah, dry ramen is a sin. Dry ramen is an actual sin. We don't do that. We don't do that here. Marcus said, I don't have any pasta or meat at home at the moment. Okay, so eggs would be good. Since you don't have any meat, eggs are good protein. Or a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, actually. You'll get some sugar for energy, you'll get carbs from the bread, and then you'll get protein from the peanut butter. That actually is a really good budget option, all things considered, especially if you don't have anything. But if you want something that's strictly warm, then just make some ramen and toss like an egg in the boiling water and let it poach the egg as you go. Eating dry ramen gets you sent to hell. I know, God told me. Bragwin with the $5 says hamburger meat, potatoes, cream of mushroom soup, and a cup of milk with a few dry spices in a baking dish and baked for an hour will last days. Yeah, that is a type of shepherd's or hamburger pie. And I actually have made that a lot. The recipe that I use, though, instead of using cream of mushroom soup, I actually like using tomato soup. And I take like a can of mixed veggies and I dump it in there as well. And then I'll like toast cheese on the top of the mashed potatoes. And that will be that's how I do that. Also, thank you very much, Alexandra, with the generous donation of a Holy Hammerite sponsorship for the channel. I just channeled my inner Vosh for a second there. That was real awkward. Also, Jack and Quill, I am incredibly happy that your name change came in your name change court date. We still have to get the name change court date set up for Raz, and that will be a thing eventually. Hard to have mixed veggies here that don't have corn. Yeah, well, you can get like a can of peas and carrots. Peas and carrots would work. Well, thank you very much, Decoradol, for saying that you wanted help to help one of your favorite people to help you survive 2020. I'm sorry that you were in such a dark place. Hopefully, my channel has helped a little bit. Just a little bit. I do want to say, though, that before we get the website for the channel, which is currently being worked on by White Nervosa, no ETA on that yet, but it is being worked on. I guess a dream of mine would be for all of the names in the chat to either be blue or green. either be members or mods, one of the two. But, yeah. Frozen peas are best. Ha, I win again. Jesus. Normandy mix in the frozen section is great in a pinch if you want to mix in a bag of cheesy noodles. Yeah. Scrolling through the chat, because before we get into the topical stuff, I want to make sure that we are having good conversations here. Conrad says, I make my ramen in the microwave. It's a bit worse, but it's faster. Yeah, ramen noodles have this weird tendency when you make them in the microwave to get real mushy real fast, and I'm not a big fan of it. Told Hubs about the channel description. He's like, is that the guy here in the kitchen all the time? I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm in your kitchen all the time. And I know peas are a legume. I don't have that talk here. Let's see here. How's it going, Hellrider Industries? Thank you for saying that you love the channel. I like the channel too, insofar as it's a thing that I was not able to do years ago, at least not well, and now we're here. So your quick food is cheesy olive oil garlic pasta. My quick food is God, what have I done as quick food lately? Because it's so often that instead of making quick food, I make food that takes a while, but I make so much of it that my quick food is just reheating shit I have. Said my wife makes pasta and tomato juice with cheese, and that's the only thing she makes. That's unfortunate. Let's see. What do you plan on doing with it going forward? So we've actually got a couple things going on right now. In the immediate, we are about to cover Classical Abby and Steven Anderson and all of them. But in the future, the channel's getting a website. It's getting coded by White Nervosa. She is the one responsible for Xander Hall and Vosh's website, and is going to be taking care of my website after Denham's website is finished. After that, or sometime during that, depending on like when the ETAs hit, the channel is also getting a VTuber avatar, because there's a lot of people who have said that they wanted the channel to have the avatar content again, but I can't reasonably do the avatar content the way I used to because I don't have the time to. Because I want to stream so much more often, I can't sit down in the editing room and just dedicate that amount of time there, else my work-life balance is completely and totally screwed, especially when some streams go into like the 14-hour range, like they did when I did the stream about the Capitol. So in order to strike a balance between have avatar videos and stream as much as I need to for the channel to allow us to support ourselves and keep a work-life balance, what I'm doing is getting I'm going to be getting a VTuber avatar, and the channel is going to be going in that direction. So I will still be making the same kind of content, debunks, philosophy, critiquing harmful religious practices, critiquing harmful politics, but a VTuber avatar is going to be used so that I can do that stuff while also having essentially avatar content as close as it can be. It'll also make collaborations with other creators super easy, because if I do have to do a recording for them real quick and I want it to look like the rest of the stuff on my channel, instead of being here like this all the time, I can just literally just pop behind the avatar that way. The last avatar that was used was an avatar designed by Jack and Quill, who is in the chat right now, and the avatar that Jack and Quill made was good. And I like it, and I used it for as long as I could until we switched to the live stream format. The problem is that the way that avatar works, and the avatar I had before works, to animate the mouth for it, I have to manually go in and set everything up for the mouth every time I want to make a video. which meant that making a video, the editing process ended up being a 4 to 9 hour process, depending on how long it took for the mouth to animate alone. And that just created huge problems for wanting to make content in the amount that I need to survive. If every video only makes like $30 to $40 at maximum, which is generally what happens, especially if things get demonetized, I can't make 2 videos a week and also support a family. That doesn't end up working very well. So this is a way to functionally bounce between the two. But I do think the last canonical use of Jack and Quill's avatar wasn't even on my channel. It's actually on Channel Pup's channel. Channel Pup got their channel stolen at some point, and I made a recording to throw onto their channel explaining what happened when my channel was stolen. And the avatar that Jack and Quill made me is actually what I use to speak on that channel, because that channel uses animated puppetry. So I believe, if I am correct, that is going to be the last canonical use of the avatar, as far as I know, unless some other project comes up that necessitates me using it. But we'll see. We'll see. That said, if you guys want any artwork done and their commissions are available, I still would highly recommend Jack and Quill, because half of the slides that show up at the end of channels, at the end of every episode, are done by Jack and Quill. The avatar for a very long time was done by Jack and Quill. So, yeah, if Jack and Quill has commissions open, pester them, bug them. Also, thank you very much for the 99 cents for Zerion Man 20X. I am probably butchering that. I am so terribly sorry. Yes, support Jack and Quill. The solution has and will always be puppets. Okay, one last thing before we get into the topics. One last thing. This. If you check in the description, there is a link to this. It is a GoFundMe. This is organized by the person I just mentioned before, Channel Pup. There's a friend whose dog is currently suffering from a medical tumor and needs help to actually get that tumor removed because the family cannot afford to do so. Pets are family. If you have the ability to donate, even if it's just £5, because it's in the UK, so it is in pounds, to help with that, then please do so. 2020 sucked enough already, but there are 2 tumors that have been discovered on this animal, and they need operations done in a very short notice. So please, if you are an animal lover, if you have pets and you have a little bit of money to spare, please donate here. And just so that my money is where my mouth is, that donation is me. This one right here was me. I've already done it. Decori, don't feel bad that you gave me your spare change. Remember, I've donated into this already. I've donated $135 to this already. So, yeah, don't feel bad, because effectively that money technically went there anyhow. But yeah, if you have the ability and you can, then I would highly suggest doing so, because animals are friends. I will post it one more time. But please help out an animal in need. They are family. They are great. They are friends. And I know that if the same thing was happening to Growlithe or Yumi or any of our animals, then I would be freaking out as well. So, if you have the ability, go ahead. And if you don't have the ability to, go ahead and take that link and share it on whatever social media you have, so that there will be a high chance that somebody will grab it. We've raised over £745 off of just 13 donors, so I'd imagine another 5 or 6 donors could maybe get us there if everybody's donating the same amounts that they have been. Pro bono vets, do they not exist? Britain, yeah, I'm not 100% certain exactly how the situation is there, but when it comes to an animal that is part of somebody's family, my first go-to is generally to just go, hey, I'm going to help. Animals are better than most people, because most people can turn into maggots. Animals don't. Animals don't become Trump supporters. Okay. Let's pop that back. That's painful. All right. What is it, Growlithe? Who upset you? Was it me? Did I upset you? Meh. They just poo in your kitchen. Pets do poo in the kitchen, but they also are wonderful, wonderful friends. No. Different, like this. Here, I'll spell it in the chat for you. That one. All right, with that said, let us go ahead and get into the first topic. Whew. Oh, wow. That felt bad. Let's fix that. I did not realize my neck was so stiff. But now I know. Yeah, the way that we handled the blind situation was just by having blankets up. I thought he said Maggots and Surf was turning into a TF2 soldier. All right, Maggot! Oh, my God. And from that point forward, anything that looked like Noah's Ark was called a farm. Anakin, my allegiance is to the Republic. To democracy. Trump has made a parlor page and is thinking about pardoning all the rioters who stormed the Capitol. Oh, we're going to have to cover that later. Jesus. Darren with the Man 28 says, no matter how little someone can financially helps, but even if someone has no money to offer, kind words also help in the right context. Correct. Thank you very much for the $5 donation, but you are 100% correct. You should probably swallow Viagra with water next time. No. The limits of liberty as of this time is new evidence that big tech should be separated. So big tech should be separated, but the things that have been done in the wake of this are honestly not a good argument for that. Yes, big tech should be separated. I agree 110%. But if the reasoning being has to do with like what's going on with Trump, that's not what I would that's not the argument I'd go for. See, that voice makes me feel what you need to know is that the bugs are coming. Don't allow the bugs to come and kill you and kill your wife and kill your dog. I need to watch Starship Troopers again. It's been actual years. It has been actual years since I've seen it. The bugs will come! Massive bug juice everywhere! Somebody's going to clip that. And the subscribe button popped up right then. That's it. If you needed a reason to subscribe, it's bug cum. It was the gay frogs that canceled Alex. The bugs are trying to make the frogs gay with their splattering of juices. Oh my god, can I actually do a good Palpatine? I have created peace and stability in my new empire. No, I can't. I can't do that. Oh wait, no, that wasn't Palpatine, that was Anakin. Sorry. I gotta be a whiny bitch to do that one, which I probably could do pretty easy, all things considered. Massive bug cum shot. Massive bug shot. Massive bug shot. Right in the eyes. Did Alex Jones comment on the riot? I don't know. I don't know. But let's go ahead and move into... There we are. Whee! So, we're going to go ahead and start off with Steven Anderson, I think. I think that would be the best way to go. Everybody okay with starting with Steven? Give me an H in chat if you're okay with starting with Steven Anderson. If you're a little trepidatious, you can give us a G, but, you know, at the end of the day, this is an emotion that I probably feel like 9 times out of 10 whenever I'm starting one of these. This emotion right here. I feel it in my soul. After what, an hour? Oh, shut up. Oh, shut up. We give you the big no. That's what you get for that. Also, what is this? What is this one? Ah, I forgot I had that. Whee! I completely forgot that was there. What is this one? Oh, it's the literal thumbnail. The thumbnail for this video. A literal thumbnail. Many H's. Okay. Well, since we've officially got enough H's to start this, because there's a certain amount we have to have before we begin any video. If a video does not begin with very H, then apparently we cannot do it. We cannot. It is impossible. But Steven Anderson, I haven't covered this guy in a while. And has he done anything new? Hard to say. But I did find a video, just randomly looking around, and it spoke to me. It spoke to me. Okay, it is a recent video, and this video, it explains something that I've been wanting to figure out, and that is, do these people realize what they're doing? And I think the answer in some situations is just a flat out, well, frankly, no. No, they don't know what they're doing. They think that they are righteous people. Now, for people who didn't know already, Steven Anderson is the leader, as it were, of the NIFB, the New Independent Fundamental Baptists. This is a guy who, well, we'll get into it in the video. I don't need to poison that well too terribly much. But I have done videos on him in the past, and one of them got taken down by YouTube for hate speech because apparently YouTube poops are hate speech. Which is just perfect. But all right, Steve, let's hear you. Let's give you some volume. Not that you don't have plenty of that already.
The reason that everybody hates me and has all this stuff on the internet attacking me is because I've stood up for what's right. What did I steal? What have I robbed? Who have I killed? Who have I assaulted?
So, I don't know if Steven understands this. In fact, actually, based on my estimation earlier in the video, I would say that he doesn't understand this. But words have weight. Words have meaning. Words can cause immense harm and immense good. In fact, as a pastor, he should be very aware of the power of words. You can imagine that as somebody who uses the Word of God as a sword, that he should know what words do and how strong and powerful they really, truly are. It's not that Steven has robbed anyone. It's not that Steven has harmed anyone directly, except for himself when he was tased. As funny as that was. No, Steven, it's not that you've harmed people with your physical hands. It's that your actions, which speak louder than your words, but are tangled with your words, have been about killing people. If I were to simply take a look, right, and this is being very slow for some reason, but let's see the things that we can find about Steven Anderson on YouTube. Now, when we do stuff like this, we actually do see that we have to have Encyclopedia Britannica give context about what AIDS is, because, of course, we have Christian pastor calls for killing all gay people. AIDS is the judgment of God from Steven Anderson. The documentary, Steven Anderson, AIDS, the judgment of God. Christian pastor supports killing sodomites, which means gay people. AIDS, the judgment of God, documentary by Pastor Steven Anderson. Hitler pastor on Caitlyn Jenner. He hopes he, which is a misgender, dies today. The American preacher spreading hate. Wow, it is almost as if there is plenty of reason, good sir, to dislike you. It's not about you hurting people with your hands, with your fists. It's not about robbing people. There are people who have done that because of you and have felt emboldened because of you, because you incite violence. But let's continue.
The only reason why there's anything against me is for the words that have come out of my mouth as I preach the Bible.
So, yes, but your words have weight, and you can't just say something hateful, hurting other people, and then just say it's from the Bible and hide behind it like a shield. That makes you a coward. Now, I know Steven Anderson's a coward because I actually attempted to debate him years ago, back when the Non Sequitur show was still a thing, and this little bitch left me on red. When I was a tiny-ass channel, super easy to cyberbully, wouldn't have taken any time. This dude leaves me on red like a freaking coward. And I understand. You don't have to answer any debate call out. You don't. I don't have to. But when you're somebody who talks a big game about killing people and firing squads, you'd think that maybe you'd be able to back it up a little bit with anything other than a conference you held in Florida celebrating the freaking Pulse nightclub shooting. But
so don't be ashamed of me. I'm not ashamed of you. I love you, and I would claim you as my friend and church member in a heartbeat. You know, when a society begins to just...
Oh, God, he's right. We do live in a society. I had no idea.
Openly accept sodomy, that's when they're like Sodom. That's when you know it's at the very final stage on the downward spiral of the final stages of depravity, when you've got them just proudly just exposing the sin of sodomy. No.
Now, what is sodomy? Let's go ahead and just define that real quick. Sodomy is penetration of the anus. Scientifically, that's where we're going to go with that. Now, according to Anderson, that is a sin, which means we necessarily have to think of what's going on with God. What does God think of this? Because this means that God, effectively, with all of his machinations, with all of his power, decided that when he was deciding where the G-spot should be on men, he should put it somewhere and then immediately argue that no, you should never touch there. That's bad. That's bad. I know the G-spot's in your butt, but don't touch that. That's bad. Don't do that. It's the same logic behind putting the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and the tree of life, in the Garden of Eden, where they're not supposed to be, like, eaten from, but they put it right there in the middle where anybody can see it and eat from it. It's the same logic. The same nightmarishly stupid thinking. And you praise it. No wonder you worship people like Trump. No wonder. Because the only people that Pastor Anderson can respect are people that can't rub two brain cells together for their life. Now, it's not just that. We need to talk about what actually happened in Sodom. Maybe that'd be a good thing to do. Let's contextualize Sodom. Sodom was supposed to be a place where all kinds of sin was happening, not just anal. If I were to actually take the Bible on its word and take it literally, it wasn't just a bunch of people practicing anal that caused Sodom to go away. If anything, it was the fact that people in there were, like, literal rapists. Like, hell, the most moral man in Sodom, apparently, tried to give his daughters away to an angry mob so that they could have sex with them instead of the angels. If anything, it's not anal that Sodom is most guilty of. It's a massive amount of posting horny on Maine. That's effectively the biggest issue of Sodom, is being horny on Maine without a license. No, Pastor Anderson, to actually get to his homophobia, he's going to have to go to Leviticus. Because he's not going to get it specifically from Sodom and Gomorrah. But even when you go into Leviticus, the context of the time is that they needed to have people breeding more often because their children were dying. Like, the average age was dropping drastically because people just weren't surviving. You literally were harming your tribe if you were not actively participating in breeding. That's the context of that time. The same reason that the context, like, it's the same thing. Whenever you try to hit these people with, oh, do you eat shellfish? The same context of that time is that the shellfish was actually causing sicknesses. There were parasites in it, and they weren't able to effectively cook it out. Same issue with pork. And so the people were supposed to not eat it. And it was easier to engage in a religious claim about this than it was to try to break things down scientifically without a scientific method or respected experts. The same logic applies when it comes to homosexuality as did with things like shellfish. It is outdated as hell. But he clings to it because what tends to happen is that these pastors and these people are not actually homophobic because the Bible told them to be. Generally speaking, what we see is that they are homophobic, and then they use the Bible to hide behind because it is a convenient shield because they are cowards.
No longer hidden, no longer in the closet, but a coming out of the closet.
Oh, also, there's a point in the chat. Doesn't the original Leviticus translation talk about boy sex slaves? Yes. It depends on how you end up translating it, but it can also mean that it's against pedastry. There's like 6 different translations for it. One of them is that even if granting that it's against homosexuality completely, it is ultimately within the context of the time and not relevant now. But if you don't accept the premise, then there are other translations for it, such as 2 men sleeping together in another woman's bed, basically desecrating her personal space. Or a man taking a male, which was a translation for young boy, into a bed, and therefore committing, essentially, a dirty P word that I don't want to say, else I'll get demonetized. So at the end of the day, there are multiple translations for it, but my point is that even if you grant the premise that it's talking strictly about homophobia or homosexuality, then you don't necessarily come to the conclusion that that means don't practice it today. What that ultimately means is that even granting the premise as far as I can take it, the context of the time does not apply to today.
That's where America is at today. And you know what? You say, well, America wasn't that great 50 years ago or 60 years ago. You know what? I know that there was sin in America 50, 60, 70 years ago, but it wasn't just being openly declared like it is now. That is a new development, okay? That is in literally the last 10 to 15 years. 15 years ago, it was not being declared the way it is today.
So now we effectively have the argument 50 years ago, people weren't declaring it. So really, what this argument boils down to, this is not Steven Anderson saying that America's better because it didn't have gay sex before. It's that he didn't have to see it. It made him uncomfortable. Not only is this man an absolute coward, hiding behind his Bible in a desperate attempt to maintain some form of social relevance, he also has to hide behind it because things around him change, and that makes him incredibly uncomfortable. This is the same type of argument as if you had somebody who was seeing a black couple or a mixed race couple, and then they went, 50 years ago, I guess at that point it'd be 70 years ago, it'd be the 1950s, but 70 years ago, you didn't see that. You didn't see that. I didn't have to worry about my daughter coming home with a black man. It's the same thing. That man can't control being black, and your daughter can't control being a lesbian. It is the same line of thinking. The only difference is that we tackled racism first, and then homophobia. So the people who got over their racism are using the exact same logic that made them a racist idiot in order to be a homophobic idiot. And you see this with transphobes too. The same logic that made you a homophobe and the same logic that made you a racist makes you a transphobe as well. This is why, generally speaking, if you find a racist, you're going to find a homophobe, you're going to find a transphobe. You might not necessarily find a homophobe and a transphobe, or you might not necessarily find a homophobe and a racist when you find a transphobe, because socially, that is what we're working on right now. Steven Anderson's effectively been left at the dust at this point. He's not socially relevant as far as his criticisms are concerned. Now, he's got some transphobia, and at least at that point, he's at least more in line with some of the other shit we're dealing with right now. But homophobia is getting increasingly more rare because people are realizing that if Marley and Jim over there peg on Wednesdays, it doesn't matter. It affects your day none. And it offends your God none, either because you believe he doesn't exist, or, more likely, because you believe he's not that petty. And if you do believe your God is that petty, why would you worship someone who is so petty? And yet, many of these people end up being Trump supporters, so I don't know why I ask that question when at least they're being consistent in who they worship.
Not even close. And I'm a young man. I'm 32 years old, okay? But I
32? This man is 4 years older than me. He's not even a generation older? $32? I doubt that. Okay, he's 39 now. So this is just a repost of something much older. Okay. Okay, if he's 39 now, cool. This is old footage that somebody has reposted on the internet because they wanted it there.
I'm just shocked that the older generation just sits by and lets this happen.
Because the older generation isn't entirely made up of bigots, you tool.
What a disgrace. What a shame. You know who ought to be ashamed of themselves? Gray-haired men who accept all this sodomy and filth, who actually...
Have you ever considered that some of those gray-haired men might also be gay? You know, whatever.
Actually lived in this country when it was a clean and normal, somewhat decent place.
Okay, so let's go ahead and do this thing where we move the goalpost, okay? Can we play the move the goalpost game? Is everybody okay? Give me an H in chat if you're okay with us playing the goalpost game for just a little bit with Steven Anderson. While I take a drink. Okay. America was great before this gay marriage came about. I preferred it when it just don't ask, don't tell. But if we go back further, man, it was so much better when it was illegal to be gay. Maybe not necessarily illegal, but nobody batted an eye if you beat them in the street. They deserve it anyway, man. They're gonna go to hell later. You gotta beat some sense into them. Stop them from going there. Man, it's love. Beating them is love. That's what it did to my kid. He came back home with Tommy and left with a black eye. That's what you do, man. Okay, let's rewind this back a little more. To show that this America was great at one point argument never fucking holds water. It was great. Things were so much better when you got funny looks for coming home with a black girlfriend. I don't. It's not that I think there's a problem with them, but they just gotta, honestly, they just gotta stick to their own kind. And yet, you can go back even further. It was so much better when they had to drink from different water fountains. I don't like that they pollute my water fountains. Or, go back even further, they need to be in completely different schools. Their skull shapes they are deficient. They don't know what they're doing. Or you could go back even further. These people, they used to be slaves. It was so much better when they were that. Now I gotta pay people to do what I'm trying to do. What is America even coming to? And yet you can go further back, and back, and back, and back, and back, and back, and it never, ever, ever stops. Until you get to before the founding of America, where we're engaging in a revolutionary war, in part, to keep slaves. You can pull this take me back to when America was great argument 1,000 ways. All it is cowardly nostalgia. There's some nostalgia that's fine. If I sit back and go, you know what, I miss the era of collect-a-thon platformers, where that was the norm for video games. Or, a generation later, I miss the era of FPSs. And then, a couple generations later, I miss the era of open world games. Every game was open world. Or the era before that where every game was getting RPG mechanics. Call of Duty got RPG mechanics. First level up and prestige systems. There's nostalgia for different things. But if the nostalgia is literally, I preferred it when other people had to live in fear, then maybe you're a fucking moron. But let's continue.
And now they just accept all this garbage. I mean, what a shame. What an abomination. I mean, at least I'm just a young man who just inherited this mess. I mean, good night. To sit there as an older man and just be okay with it? I mean, if you're an older man and you're fighting against it and you're standing up against it, praise God for you. But if you're one of these gray-haired people that accepts all this, and look, have you noticed, there aren't even a lot of older people in our church.
Have you imagined it's because many of them have probably already dealt with cults once or twice before and recognize that yours is that, and the only people that you can actually push into are the young and impressionable people that you can get at a ripe young age and actually brainwash and indoctrinate them, leaving you to have a disproportionately young audience in there, not because of the benefits of having a young audience outside of anything aside from the easy access to brainwashing them. Have you ever considered that? Young people are more impressionable, easier to lead. Therefore, it's easier for you to get in their brains, like an abusive predator. Has that not occurred to you, Stephen? I don't even know if it's true that you don't have a lot of old people in your congregation. I'm not even certain. But, like with Leviticus, I'm willing to grant your premise and work with it. Assume you're telling the truth as a best-case scenario, and move on from there. And yet it does not get us to where you want us to go.
Because our church is too old-fashioned for the elderly.
No. It's that you are an energetic bigot, and that energy, blindly or not, many times there are young people who will follow that energy. Not for any good reason. I should know. As somebody who grew up in PCA, as somebody who grew up in a school that was funded and created by the IFB, the old IFB, and the Seventh-day Adventists, I know what it's like to have that infectious church energy. Where that's the reason that we're here. You're not there because of the individual things the pastor's saying. You're there because you want his energy, his passion, his fire. You want that big dick energy, and then you get there and the things you actually hear, and suddenly you're believing them too. Because you were there for the energy. You were there for the passion. Stephen, does it occur to you maybe that you are in fact a type of predator?
I mean, figure that out. I mean, our church is too old-fashioned for the elderly can't handle it. Too old-fashioned. I mean, that's when you know you're old-fashioned.
No, because you would know you're old-fashioned if you couldn't even have the young people in there as well. This logic does not work, Stephen.
You know, we're so old-fashioned that only people in their 20s and 30s can even handle it. How old-fashioned we are.
Yeah, that's because the people who actually lived back in those times and do not want things to return back to those times know better than to believe your dumbass. But the people who are infantilized, who, like your Nicholas Fuentes type people, who will sit there and just idolize the 50s and just go, man, it was such a simpler time. People knew the social order. It was great for me, the token white man. Stephen, you're selling a fantasy, not even your Bible, which I personally believe is your own fantasy. You're not even just selling that fantasy, you're selling a fantasy of an America as well.
probably 32 minutes into the sermon, 32 Bible verses have come out of my mouth, you know, and there's probably 32 things that will offend the world that we live in today. And tell me, what have I preached that is not biblical? And yet people are ashamed of this kind of preaching. There are some people, not in our church, thank God, that would be ashamed to bring a visitor to a service like this.
So, you could bring a visitor to a service like that and be ashamed, and that would be a perfectly reasonable response, because that visitor may be in the closet. You may realize that, oh, wait, maybe it's when you feel ashamed to bring a visitor to a service like that that you realize, oh, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't be here. Stephen, have you considered, just maybe, just possibly, that your hatred and vitriol get mistranslated by younger people as high energy, and so they follow you? They see your charisma insofar as you have it. Rolling natural 20s with a low actual charisma state, it's fine. And they see that and go, oh, that's a guy I want to be behind. And then they end up buying your shit hook, line, and sinker as a result. This is what you do as a cult leader. The NIFB is a cult. It follows all of the common trends of a cult. You can juxtapose it to Stephen Hassan's bite model or Telltale's Fibonacci sequence model. It comes out as a cult at the other end. It is gross. It is disgusting. And if Steven Anderson wants to really know why people hate him, maybe it would be good for him to understand that the things he's saying are hatred. And because he is spewing hatred and saying that it's biblical, whether or not it is, that's why people hate him. Even if we grant that your stuff is completely biblical and 100% true, we naturally end up to the time and place argument. That it's outdated. Because it was made for a different people in a different time. And we can actually, through the study of history, figure out why it was used for those people in the times in which it was used. You're not so old-fashioned that the old people can't handle you. You have a fantasy idea of what old-fashioned is, and you sell it, because that's how you make your living. You are a cult leader selling the idea of good old-fashioned Southern biblical teaching. It just happens to include a metric fuck ton of hate. And it's gross. But if you guys enjoyed, insofar as I can actually use that word for this video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Maybe go check out my Patreon if you want to. There's videos over there that show behind-the-scenes stuff of what goes on at the house instead of just the stuff that goes on the channel. So if you want to see all that, then Patreon is where you would see that. If you have the ability to share this with a friend and you think that they would get anything out of this type of presentation, then please do so. And if you want to check out the live streams where these actually happen, then please tune into the channel. Generally speaking, it's going to be around 1 p.m. Eastern almost every day in the week. Usually there's a day or two I take off, but generally speaking, you'll find me at 1 p.m. Eastern over on this channel. So if you enjoy all that stuff, awesome. I'll just say again, hit subscribe, hit like if you haven't already, and thank you all for watching. And with that, we are ready to take a short break of just talking and then move into the next topic. Cat Mix says, "Notice me, senpai." Well, you are noticed. How's it going? Nathan Morgan said, "Nice to you streaming. First saw you a year ago, and it's nice to be back." Well, awesome. Thank you for hopping into the stream and tuning in. One sec. One sec. David says, "Unnotice me, senpai." David, I can't unnotice you. I just cooked spaghetti on your stove. How am I supposed to unnotice you now? The stove you gave me has spaghetti on it. The bowl I ate spaghetti out of is right here. awkward. It has spaghetti. I cannot stop it. Can you make it so we don't have to do these? So I don't have to do these dishes? Can't help you. Can't help you. As we were still going, yes, food and Nerf guns. Well, get those. Get them. Well, I'm sorry that I am making you hungry, Lucy. I am hungry as well, because I only had a very small bowl of food, and now I am realizing that I need more food. But I'm in the middle of streaming, so I'm not doing that. Just buy styrofoam, never do dishes again. Ah, yes, David. I will gladly cook on the... I will put the styrofoam right on the stove. I will turn it on, and I will cook on that stove. And when I get my cancer soup scraped off with a styrofoam spatula, I will shovel it in my mouth and thank my capitalist overlords for making consumables that will kill me when misused. You have water and rum both in the freezer. Growlith? What is wrong, girl? Also, hi, Yumi. Growly. Come on, let's come over here. Come on, come here. Come on. Come on, you are having some upset times. Why are you upset? If anything, I should be upset at you. You shat in the kitchen. What? What is it? Come on. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't joke, sir. His friend put Chinese leftovers in the oven and forgot to take it out of the box. No. No. Bad. Yumi, no. I'm scared. Come here. Come here. I was told something scary. I need to hold you. I have to hold a Yumi for that. You need to go outside, don't you? That's what this is. Okay, we pause for a second to let Growlith outside, and then we will get into Super Chats and then get into the next video. I will be back. Let me take care of Growlith. I hit the wrong button. I am the dumb. I was supposed to hit the pause button. I hit the ending stream button. I'm 90% certain that's what happened. Oh my god. I managed to lose 50 people by hitting the wrong goddamn button. Because I am what you would call an idiot. I cannot think of an idiot more dumb than me right now. This has been a stream of technical error after technical error. I see we have some fan art in the Discord real quick. I will go ahead and display that fan art right now from Ghost Chan. I feel the existential dread from this picture. I feel some serious existential dread. Get foam keys, my buttons are too hard. No, I refuse. So because the end of stream music is generally always there, whenever I end, I imagine it's a creature of habit thing where you hear it and you're just like, okay, I'm gone. Cyrus admits he is the dumb. Checkmate, atheists. Yeah. Someone delivered a very important motorcycle to me, so I had to go AFK. I came back and it was all Blackberry. Is that a persona, Cyrus? Ask Ghost Chan. Ghost Chan will be able to give you. It's from the Goku meme. What is the Goku meme? I don't know if I've seen the Goku meme. Wait, you put your glasses in the microwave? That sounds like a horrible experience. All right, so let's go ahead. Jesus, we had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a bunch of people subscribe just randomly during the stream. For any of you who are watching, hold on, let me. I'm gonna do a quick name thing to see if anyone. I don't know if any of the ones who just subscribed are watching. But Spike, Kiet Lee, Jeremiah Goodman, Thunder Gnome, and Dr. Human and Lunar Muse. If you guys are watching and you just subscribed, thank you so much. It's very rare that I actually get subscribers during a stream. Usually it's like whenever uploads come out. David says I'll unsubscribe to even that out. You know, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You could do that. That would make me sad, but... okay, so we do have another super chat that I want to get into real quick, and that is from Atomicus Aquinas. For home, for food, and glory. Now, I do have to wonder, Atomicus, if you are still in the chat, is that a reference to Thomas Aquinas by chance? I'd imagine Atomicus Aquinas. It sounds very, very, very close. And if that's just a circumstance, then I will be okay. It is okay. Cool. There is a So I normally don't recommend like Christian podcast stuff, but this one is actually mostly theology and philosophy. Have you seen the podcast or listened to the podcast called A Pint with Aquinas? Do I have animal hair? Did Yumi get hair in my mouth? Anyway, but if you have, and if you are a fan of just like listening to just straight up like philosophy, it's not a bad, even though it is definitely like very Christian based. It is good. But anywho, Ocean Keltoy in the chat who has popped in says a science theologian. Hi. How's it going, Ocean? Hopefully you are having a good day and time right now. Yeah, if I have any Christian friends in the chat who want something that's like not, I've not heard anything like majorly bigoted from them. It's almost always just like philosophy and theology. I would recommend that. If you just like the scholarly stuff, they're Pretty good for that. Pretty good for that, honestly. So, Ocean, you've been breaking Cirrus's stream far from the start. Oh my god. I think that this should... You know what? We're just gonna use image as wallpaper. Goku face, but fem Cirrus. Yep. That's become wallpaper. Set as desktop background. Abby is up next, yes. Okay, let's... There we go. It is now my background. It had to be. The existential dread was too strong. I could not handle not having it here. Ocean brought the tech gremlins. Ocean sent the tech gremlins ages ago. You feel this fan art. This fan art that screams at you. Okay. With that said, let me go ahead and get everything prepped for the next bit. The next bit of stuff. Said your desktop... Hey, my desktop is definitely messy. You're right. Nothing I can do about that. Is that art how you feel while watching Ben Shapiro? You're not wrong. Hell, it's not that the things you said are incorrect. It's not that any of that is wrong. But I don't know how to feel now. I don't know how to feel. How is Sir's really showing us his BitTorrent? BitTorrent's not, or uTorrent's not illegal. So, peer-to-peer transferring stuff isn't illegal. Why can't you unmess your desktop? Okay, look. If you need me to unmess my desktop, here, we're going to do this. Unmess. We will unmess my desktop real quick if that makes everybody better, happier. Streamlabs, go away. Okay, we hit new folder. We go games. Okay. Live 2D, unmess. Vroid, unmess. Steam VR, unmess. Oculus, unmess. Live 2D, unmess. Stream Deck, unmess. Adobe, unmess. Sonic Forces, you're kind of a game. Paladins, Shantae, A Hat in Time, you're all games, right? Pokemon, you're a game, I think. Animes, you go into unmess. Phasmophobia, you go here. Armor of Heroes, Sega goes here. Audacity, you go into unmess. Sound Capture goes into unmess. I have no idea what the fuck that is. Zoom goes here. Microsoft Edge. Deleted. Opera, unmess. League, games, Steam, unmess. Games, unmess. That was VR chat. That was a game. Genshin Impact. There's a slideshow folder here. Twitch, we'll just throw that in the games. Why not? What is removed apps? I guess that goes into unmess. Bioshock, wow. Turok 2, Seeds of Evil, Sonic Lost World. Was that on there twice? Among Us, Bioshock Remastered, Legends of Runeterra, Halo, the Master Chief Collection. Team Fortress 2. Game Capture goes into unmess. Logitech Hub goes here. CDI for reading comics goes here. Discord goes here. There! You actually do have Forces on your computer. It wasn't just a joke. No, I did a playthrough of Sonic Forces on this channel. Jesus. Hi, Ocean. Oh no. Oh no. What have you made me look at? Damn, Rolling Stone, thank you for plastering everyone who uses the term heathen as a white supremacist. This is a false statement as you'd... What? He has a Mjolnir or Thor's hammer on his stomach, an image of Yggdrasil etched around his nipple, and most significantly, right above his heart, a Valknut, the knot of the slain, an Old Norse runic symbol, turned recognized hate symbol that is popular among white supremacists. In addition, the Mjolnir has become a symbol of identity among self-proclaimed heathens. Code for white supremacy aligned peg. Holy shit! Rolling Stone! Why? That is not correct! Not every heathen is YSEE or folkist, you dumb shits! That's like saying that every Christian is necessarily a homophobe. It's not true. Nope, don't like that. Yeah, something broke. Velis, you're looking at Rolling Stone. Apparently saying that all heathens are white supremacists, while my co-host, a heathen, is not happy about that. Also, thank you very much, Rebecca C. and It's Sunday for subscribing. I just got that. Have I seen a Call for an Uprising's new video? Oh my god. Is a Call for an Uprising doing stuff now? What the fuck is he doing? Who's the author? Good question. Let's see here. Hold on. Here's what I'm gonna do. So first of all, what the fuck? Second, whateth the fucketh? Third, this is wrong. The fuck. Fourth, someone get me this fucking article. Someone at Rolling Stone is a goddamned moron and needs correction with a crowbar in Minecraft. No, we're not going to go far. We're not going to go with that. We're not going to go that far, but it's not hard. Doing research into religions is not difficult. Sorting fact from fiction can be. But this is so fucking dumb. I don't know if I'm going to be covering it today. I may be doing that tomorrow. But I will be covering this piece of shit. Oops, I slipped and hit that retweet button. You want journalists to do research? What are you, an optimist? No, I'm a realist. I really hate this. This is not good. This is stupid. This is bad. Why? With a crowbar in Minecraft? Oh no, not the GT flashbacks. Ocean, you and I will go over that video together. That's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. We'll when I do that one, I will send you a message. And we will handle this as a team. I'm not doing this shit alone. Absolutely fucking not. Fuck it. People need to go subscribe to you anyway. If you're in the chat, go subscribe to Ocean. What the hell are you doing? By not subscribing to Ocean, you are perpetuating the Rolling Stones' negative propaganda. I'm not exactly sure if that's accurate, but I'm willing to say it for theatrics. Jesus. Impromptu hammered out now? No, because I've got I already have some stuff that is set up to go. I have stuff that's set to do. Okay. What the hell? Where even am I on this stream? What am I doing next? What the hell am I doing? I try to subscribe, but all you can see is the waves. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, we're gonna go to YouTube Studio. Jesus Christ. People seem to really like that Caitlyn Bennett video. Holy crap. So why is it that when I cover something that matters to me a lot, no viewers, no nothing, but when I cover Caitlyn Bennett, when I cover fascist poop pants, 7.5k views in the first, 4 hours. It's like you people want to suffer. Sarah thinks I want to subscribe to quality YouTube. Why do you think I'm here? Well, look, if anything, I think you're here because you're a sadist, and watching me suffer is what gets you happy. I was going to say get your rocks off, but that makes it weird. Caitlyn Bennett is popular and infamous. You're not wrong. Fellas, oh fuck, he figured me out. Because, okay. We're going into the next thing. We're going into the next thing, everybody. I've made it weird now. Well, you know what? Y'all did it first. Y'all started watching. I'm not worried about phrasing. Look, do you want me to tell you why I'm not worried about phrasing? Because this is the channel that receives random tentacle porn fan art. I'm fine with however I phrase anything, because I know that the dirtiest minds of this community are going to turn whatever the fuck into artwork anyway. Just so they can see my reaction when I scream internally. I'm not... I will show you the tamest versions of it. Sarah wants us to go fuck ourselves using DDLG Playground. True. This is probably the best time to say, if you want to go fuck yourself, go ahead and get a dildo over at ddlgplayground.com using coupon code /Surus, and the link is in the description below. You'll get 10% off of your purchase. But, here, let me... You should post that pic I sent you earlier about Trump's new rule. I should suffer. That's why we're here. To suffer. Truly and honestly. No, seriously. Seriously. Somehow, why is this breaking? There we go. This is the channel that somehow gets tame tentacle porn fan art. I'm not worried about phrasing. It doesn't matter what I say or how I say it. Y'all fuckers are nasty. You'll do this no matter what I do. Or say. More tentacles means more hugs. Just... It matters not. It matters very little what I do. Photos, media, engine add-on. What the hell is that? We are all degenerates. Yes! Every one of you, including me. All of us are. Every single one of us is an argument in favor of Steven Anderson's genocide. What's called nutting to again? I'll figure that out for tomorrow's video. Send me the video in Discord and I will handle it tomorrow. I do not have the spoons to handle call today. My team does not have an answer to mages in Project Ember right now. Oh, sorry. So I only see a head and tentacles. Is that a Merchaloop doing Marcellifod. God, whoa, holy shit. I cannot pronounce things. Mercephalopod. There we go. Mercephalopod. Why is that? No. David, that comment is in the top 10 of least frameable comments I have seen. Autobot Starscream, there's a Q Shaman. 2.5 hours on this channel, the video going into the QAnon Shaman is going up on here. Oh no, we have Tentacle Service porn and you're involved. Have I already done music upon with Steven Anderson's Inevitable Fetishes? I've not mused on Anderson's fetish. Okay. Okay. Let me get 2 hours of Q Shaman. No, that's not what I said. Do I have a gem Sona? I think somebody's made me one before, but I do not personally have one. Nadiriku with the $5 super chat. Yamate Tentacle Senpai. All I had to do is say tentacles, and there's at least 3 artists right now who are currently working on some project to make me suffer internally. Q Shaman is under arrest. Ah! We call that justice here. We call that justice. What fruit does Steven Anderson want a bone? Well, Tommy Mercury has pumpkins. I would say Steven Anderson has bananas. Sarah's Vorar when? I think somebody's already done that, but I don't know if I don't know where it is. I think it has to necessarily be a Steven Universe Sona for it to be a gem Sona. That's my understanding. Just like technically Nekosaurus is not really a fur Sona, even though it is like kind of a furry. It depends on where you draw the line. Got a Wacom for my partner for Christmas. Should I start practicing for some more tentacle porn? Pandora, you do what you want to do, but just be warned that you can't post adult imagery in our Discord. We have that locked down. So whatever you post, it's gotta be tame. Whatever it is. Hazy says, why do I do this to myself? You're asking yourself that. You're asking why you do this to you. This is weirder for me. All right. So now that we're done talking about random Cirrus Tentacle porn art that gets submitted, let's go ahead and talk about something that is at least a little less cringy. Classically Abby. Now, this video I have not seen yet. This is essentially going to be a live reaction critique of it, but she says that self-care is trash. And then says 5 ways to actually take care of yourself, which means we're either going to get a video that is shitting on mental health because she's an idiot, or we're going to get a video that says self-care is trash, but here's 5 ways to engage in self-care. But I guess we'll find out. We'll find out which one it is. Herein, as soon as my computer stops freezing.
And welcome to today's video, where we're going to be talking about how to do self-care right. I don't know about you, but in the past few years, I feel like the term self-care has become a huge part of the vernacular, has become something that everybody wants to talk about. And here's the thing. I'm not against the idea of self-care. I'm against the idea...
If you're not against the idea of self-care, then why did you label your video self-care as trash?
Of what self-care has now come to mean. In the same way that I'm against the idea of female empowerment meaning something that I totally disagree with. Do I think that the words female and empowerment can go together? Absolutely. Do I agree with how they're used nowadays? Not so much.
Then maybe you should actually define what female empowerment is nowadays. This is a thing that I don't like, okay? This is this type of argumentation where you say, well, I don't like how it's used nowadays, but then you don't say how it's used nowadays, and so we just kind of have to guess. We have to fill in the blank our own answer, which I understand is kind of the point sometimes, where we have to fill in the blank. And because we have to do that, we put in what we don't agree with, and we go, ah, yes, I agree with what you don't agree with. It must necessarily be the thing that I don't agree with. But let's see if it actually is.
Name definitely goes for the two words self and care. But self-care nowadays does not really mean what it says. In today's day and age, when you use the term self-care, it evokes an image of a woman who is kind of neglecting any of the other things that need to happen. She says, everyone needs to be put on hold. I need to deal with myself right now. I'm gonna have my glass of wine and watch my TV show and take a bath and take care of myself.
Why is that in quotes? Okay, so there are times when everything around you is overwhelming, and trying to handle everyone else's shit, even like going to work, is not good for your mental health. And you need to just take a day. Take a day. Sit down, relax, do something for you. Treat yourself. But apparently that basic idea is something that Abby is very, very against. And I don't see why. But I guess maybe we'll get some context when we see what her alternatives are? But apparently, taking care of yourself in the way that she just described, which is a perfectly valid way of engaging in self-care, is something that she's against. This uwu face, by the way, we froze on an Abby Shapiro uwu face. I don't know how to feel about that, but I feel like it's going to become the thumbnail. But I'm also terrified. Radiant has it right in the chat. Burnout's a thing. Sometimes you have to address burnout.
That isn't really self-care. Self-care...
That's not taking time for your... That's not self-care? Abby, that is self-care. That is a... Self-care takes various forms. That is self-care. You thinking that's not self-care? I will quote the random cringe that's in my chat right now. Oh, whoa, notices your bigotry.
Should be preventative. Self-care should be something that all women engage in to make sure that we don't get to the point where we're so overwhelmed that we have to take a night of self-care. This is something that
have you ever considered that? Okay, so there's gonna be about a second or two delay when I actually pause the video and when I actually get to respond, because apparently my computer is getting very slow. But Abby, you do know that sometimes you cannot prevent the situation that causes you to need to take the day, and the day is actually a preventative measure to prevent you from getting overwhelmed. Does that basic concept not jive with you? Do you not get that at all? Like, this is not difficult.
Really important. If you take care of yourself regularly, then you won't need nights off for self-care. Now, is that always
okay.
true?
No, okay. So I like how she immediately contradicts herself by saying what it sounds like she's about to say. Is that always true? No. But let me go ahead and take this stupid fucking argument. And I'm sorry that was really loud, but I need to take this absolutely back-asswards stupid argument and apply it to the workforce. You know, if you just paced yourself correctly, you wouldn't need a weekend. Wow. What a dumb fucking argument. And suddenly, I need to engage in not self-care, but self-harm. That was not nearly hard enough. Needs more concussive force next time. Her argument seems to boil down to, well, I don't like this particular kind of self-care. I would rather prevent you from ever needing it, and then call that self-care. Like, yeah, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, but that doesn't mean dismiss the goddamn cure.
No, of course, there are certain days that we have that are just crazy, and at the end of it, you want to just chill out and relax. But making the idea of this kind of self-care a really frequent thing, instead of dealing with the stuff that could actually keep you feeling calm and collected and more ready to take on the day, is to the detriment of women everywhere. Because
okay, it's not that you're wrong, Abby. It's not that the idea that we should make sure that our plates are not so overly full and that we take care of ourselves is a bad one. But let me paint a scenario for you, something you've never had to fucking deal with, you dumbass. Here, let me paint a scenario for you. You can't afford rent, so you have to work a second job. Now, you can't afford eating out because you're barely affording rent, so you've got to cook too. Because that's the only way you can make yourself the cheaper meals that last longer so that you can function between your two jobs. You're working effectively 70 to 80 hours a week and spending a good portion of that time cooking. You're barely able to sleep. Now, what type of fucking prevention were you going to have? How were you going to manage that, Abby? Now, I understand that your privileged ass has no idea what it's like to be in that scenario where you're between a rock and a hard place, and you have no idea, no ability to actually prevent the incoming mental health clusterfuck that you will be engaged in. I understand that you've never dealt with that scenario because your privileged ass is worth a shit ton of money and you haven't had to worry about it. But at the end of the day, working class Americans do have to deal with that reality. Your proposal basically breaks down to just don't. It's not a solution. It's not, it solves nothing. Self-care is there so that when you are getting overwhelmed, like in the scenario that I proposed here, you have something that allows you to get your faculties back together. But no, Abby. Your solution so far is just don't have the breakdown. That's not how any of this works, Abby. Not in reality. In classically Abby world, where everything gets to be conservative and clean and classic and nothing is bad ever, yeah, I get it. Maybe you could live in that fantasy. The rest of us, however, don't get that.
Because what really ends up happening is that you don't deal with underlying issues. You just kind of stick a Band-Aid on a gaping wound by drinking a little bit of wine and watching a stupid TV show and taking a night of self-care.
You keep on putting it in quotation marks. You are literally shitting on people who have mental health issues and need to take that. I get if you're neurotypical and this isn't an issue, you don't have this problem. But not only are there material situations, there are also mental situations where this cannot happen, Abby. This does not happen. Abby, the logical idea that I'm bringing to you is something called the reductio ad absurdum. If I create a scenario, and it is moderately extreme, it is the reductio, it is the absurd reductio, the reduction of your argument, and your argument necessarily does not function within the realm of the reductio, the argument is shit. That's how it works, Abby. But go on, Queen.
Instead of taking care of yourself regularly. Self-care should mean taking care of yourself and really taking the time to figure out how you're going to be able to handle everyday life. Instead, it has come to mean restorative care, this idea that I need to take care of myself after the fact. You don't want to let things snowball out of control.
It's not about taking care of yourself after the fact, Abby. Although this is the best freeze frame. This is a 10 out of 10 freeze frame. I like this freeze frame. I think I'll keep it. Preventative care can be preventing yourself from getting overwhelmed by too much stuff coming on your plate, or it can be preventing yourself from having a breakdown. The self-care day is for that too, Abby. You may label that all as restorative care, but I'm gonna go ahead and take a guess that because your privileged ass doesn't know what this shit is like, that you're looking at it from the outside in. And you're looking at it with a fucking superiority complex. And it's gross. And this is the absolute best frame to describe your entire argument. In fact, actually, this is the frame that we will be using for the thumbnail. This frame right here. And somebody is going to be getting that freeze frame sent to them so that I can save it. Okay. Come on, Abby. Let's get back to the suffering.
Until the point where you are so overwhelmed that you do need to take a night of self-care. The fact of the matter is that this idea of self-care doesn't ever really work. It doesn't encourage young women to actually take care of themselves.
Do you know what the purpose of this self-care is, Abby? Because for you to say it doesn't work, you need to know what it's for. Now, if my energy levels are here, and then after a handful of days working 2 jobs, it's here, and then I take that self-care day and my energy levels are back here, it worked, you troglodyte. It did its job. This is an argument against taking a vacation from work. Well, you wouldn't need a vacation if you just did your job properly. If you just handled all your ducks in a row, you'd never need that vacation. A self-care day is a mental health vacation, Abby. I love how your arguments essentially are, let's stay classic and shit on the working class. Wouldn't it be great if the proletariat just got completely fucked by the bourgeoisie? Wouldn't that be just fantabulous? That is classically Abby in a nutshell, at least in this video.
Regularly. Instead, it just says, when you're feeling upset or overwhelmed, instead of dealing with the root of the problem, just kind of take a day off and indulge. Now, of course, as I mentioned, it's not to say that there aren't going to be times when we're overwhelmed, where the day just got the best of us, and we want to take a night to de-stress. That happens to all of us, so that's not a terrible thing. But it shouldn't be that we
that is self-care, Abby. That's exactly what that is.
Generally are moving through life expecting to be overwhelmed and then dealing with that kind of feeling of being in a chaotic situation by then taking a night off for self-care and just ignore.
Okay, Abby, I got a question. Abby, have you ever considered maybe, just maybe, that if I were to accept your premise that people need to take this idea of self-care, of preventing these issues, of never getting overwhelmed, then maybe, just possibly, your enemy looks like mine. Because you do realize that unfettered capitalism leads to workers being in the conditions where they are so overwhelmed they have to take a self-care day. When they're having to take care of a family, and take care of bills, and take care of sometimes educating their children, and take care of having a stable relationship with their partner. Do you realize that if you advocated for a society that allowed people ample time off in general, instead of having to work 40 to 80 hours in a week to subsist, barely, maybe, just maybe, we'd live in a society where your argument held a little bit of water. But the reality, Abby, the reality is that that's not the case. When I was working at Walmart, I was not able to keep my mental health in check. When I was working McDonald's and Hardee's together as 2 jobs, I was barely able to function. What should I have done then, Abby? Cleaned up my plate, cleaned my room, gotten everything perfectly settled for myself. Then I wouldn't have had a breakdown. I wouldn't have had days where I was too exhausted to function. The only option I had was to leave one of those jobs. And of course, then I wasn't making enough money to subsist anyway. So What is it, Abby? Do you want to actually hold to this prevention is worth an ounce of cure argument, which is generally true, but not actually advocate for the prevention? You throw everything in the arena of the worker, and then they have to handle this on their own? Is that what you're going to do, Abby? Because if that's the case, that is absolutely shitty.
Ignoring any other responsibilities. So in this video, I think I want to delineate the idea of self-care from taking care of yourself. I want to say that taking care of yourself is what we should be aiming for, and self-care is the bad version of that, where you're not really dealing with what you need to deal with to be able to take on the world. I am such a huge proponent of really taking care of yourself and taking time for you and being able to handle everything that comes your way by being aware of those things that make life too hard or too difficult.
Yeah, this is just semantics.
Yourself, as opposed to just letting everything come at you all at once and feeling super stressed about it and then just taking the night off to recover. So today I want to share with you 5 tips that I have for real self-care.
Go ahead, lay them on me.
Taking care of yourself. So let's get into it. Number 1 is to make time for yourself each and every day. Now I know...
Wait, Abby. Did you just shit on the idea of making time for yourself? And then gave the advice, make time for yourself? Is that what you just did? Abby! I don't know if this should be used on you or me. But you're not around, so... I realized I was muted during that. I do not know if that hammer should have been used on me or her, but I'm the only one around here, so... I'm the one option. You just... shat on people taking time for themselves. By telling people to take time for themselves! Did you learn logic from your brother? Because he does this dumb shit too. You literally just took an idea and said you didn't like the box it was in, and then took it out of the box and then said it's my idea now. I think I'm gonna scream. I'm gonna fucking scream. You're that stupid. Every video I've done covering this person, I've never come to the point where I've had just a break of just, wow. No, this person's that dumb. Let's go ahead and see what your other tips are. Abby?
So many of us are so busy. We've got work, we have kids, we have school. There's a million things that we have to do every single day that it feels crazy to even ask for.
Okay, so...
Without a routine is the first thing that will make you feel...
Hey, look! Actually good advice! Getting into a routine. Would you like to know what my routine was when I had 2 jobs? Sleep when I had the fucking chance. Getting a routine is generally good advice. It's why I'm trying to stream on the channel at the same time every time now. As much as I can, anyway. It is good advice. But holy shit, Abby! It does not negate the thing that happened before. Let us see what your third piece of advice is. Because I don't need all the verbal fluff. So, I'm just going to say that out of context...
work or for childcare or for whatever else it is. Number 3 is to take a bath or a luxurious
take a bath once a week. You know what? Abby, we're screen capping this. We're screen capping this because I want to live in the fictional universe where you basically just told people not to shower. I know that's not the case. I know it's not. Can I just say also I don't have this option because our shower barely works, so I kind of just have to bathe in general, but, you know, whatever. Yeah, she literally mocked people for taking a luxurious bath and having some wine earlier in the video. But then her third bit of advice is to take a bath once a week. Literally, Abby, you are shitting on self-care and then just defining self-care. You fought a straw man and then built what everybody already does. It's because of the wine part. Okay. Sure thing. Let's see. Take a deep breath. Pause and think. That's your fourth one. Abby. Again, it's not that you're wrong. But this is shit people already do. Who engage in the version of self-care you demonized. So let's go ahead and see what your last one is. Well, let's hear your version of this first.
And how you can fix it. Deep breath and figure out what's causing you to spiral out of control and how you can fix it.
Yep, that is, again, generally good advice, if it had not been framed directly after shitting on mental health. Yes, the idea that when you have a problem, you need to sit down and work out a solution, and you need to do so while taking a breath. That's reasonable. But again, not right after literally shitting on people. Oh no. Oh no, we've got the last one.
You're still okay. You're fine. You've dealt with it, and that's a good thing. The fifth and final way to take care of yourself regularly is pray. Praying to God reminds us that we're really not in control of anything. Once you recognize that God is
I've had better ideas. Abby. You're so dumb I had to shoot myself in the balls. Abby. You are a walking argument against this. All right, Abby. I'll bite. I'm an atheist. What God do I pray to? Now, let me go ahead and just point out that's not even the issue. The best way to feel, or the best way to compose yourself and get control of your life is to realize you have no control. Wow, the existential dread is right here. Perfect. I get it. Is this loaded? Yes, it is. Awesome. The existentialism it's happening right now. I can only shoot the dread away. That's all I can do, Abby. That's the only option I have, because it's the only option you gave me. After shitting on mental health, and then redefining what you think self-care is, and finally landing on just wipe your hands of it. Just hand it to God. God's got it. God's got it. Right! That God I don't believe in. Sure thing, bud. Sure thing. Absolutely. Absolutely, Abby. I'll pray. I'll do it. I'll do it for you. Dear God, I sincerely hope you can give this bitch a brain. That's where we're at, Abby. That is where we're at. The semantics, the pedantry, the absolute dumbfuckery of advocating against people's mental health and then redefining everything so that you can claim it as yourself like a greedy asshole. Okay. Yeah, we're done. We're done, Abby. We're done. If you made it through this and you got to the end of this, go ahead and hit the like button if you want to see more of my suffering. Hit subscribe as well if you haven't already. That's about as much plugging as I'm going to do. I'm going to go plug my asshole now. Oh, my God. Okay. Okay, Abby. Blitzkrieg, if it helps, I'm perfectly fine. I'm fine. No, I am okay. More like shilling stream. Should I dislike if I don't want to see him suffer? You know what, honestly? You know what you want to do. I did not realize that I had a handful of Wafflehead darts here. Oh, do we have it shut in the chat? Oh, that'd be so great. That'd be so wonderful. I'd love a punching bag. Okay. I don't want to watch you plug your asshole unless you're overindulging on pizza. Chud left already. Damn it. Oh, well. A chud is basically a right-winger, like, anti-SJW type on the internet. That's a chud. Put a punching bag on your Amazon wish list. That may be a good idea. Was a Call fan? Oh boy. Did Abby go full transformed wife? Yes. Evelyn, I'm not making light of suicide unless you think that a Nerf gun is going to engage in suicide here. Like, I'm trying not to make light of suicide, but I'm becoming increasingly disappointed with the stuff available on Amazon. I said, oh, we covered Call yet? So I will be doing Call for an Uprising later. Not yet. Not yet. That'll be a thing for at a different time. Though my stream is very slow. That's agitating. I know that Gene Kim is the last thing. But I think we're going to skip Gene Kim today. Because I did say I have a special treat here. And I do think I'm going to do that. That'll be our way of doing some self-care. Just give me a sec. So, the intent of the imagery is the same as hitting myself with the hammer. I don't really get hurt that much. It is basically that I have gotten to the point where I cannot handle what I am dealing with anymore, and I am at the point where I am... It's the equivalent of punching a wall, really, at that point. Did I actually shoot myself? That I did do, but did it actually hurt that much? I can manage. The hammer is foam, yes. The hammer is a foam hammer. It's... Yeah, like the face bomb thing. It's the same thing. It's the... Like, none of the stuff here is going to really cause me that much damage. Cirrus is unleashing his persona upon the offender. Yeah, I mean, there's that. Persona 3 had that as well, where you summoned demons by shooting yourself in the head. Could you at least load it with the uncapped Crayola marker so you can reasonably call it art? Oh my god. That's okay to jump in weird and proud of it. Like, I don't have an issue with you guys having an opinion on it. If you don't like it, that's understandable, and that's fine. It's not going to influence whether or not I will do it, though. But Let me see here. Give me a sec. Oh, that is a preamble. Let's see. Where are we? Chapter 1. There we go. There we go. This is going to be long. We're only going to do one chapter of this right now. But we'll see what I can do. Colin needs to awaken his persona. We're not going to get there. Gonna have yourself a stale baguette. Stale baguette would be useful. Okay. So here's the last thing we're gonna do today. Do you guys remember what the goal, or not the goal, but the reward was for us hitting $3,000 during the donation streams for the kitchen? Do you guys remember? Keelan got it first. So for hitting $3,000 in the donations, I said that I would do a reading of the Communist Manifesto in Mickey Mouse's voice. Well, the time for that is now. Moreover, I need to go ahead and show, where is it? Where is my, can I do a window capture of it? Let's see. No, it's not that one. Give me just a sec. I'm trying to find it. Oh, it's not going to let me do it at all, is it? Okay, well then. Bye. Fuck it. We do it this way. Not video capture device. Jack and Quill, you actually will be probably quite happy about this. For it is time. Comrade Mickey Story Hour. Oh my god. I did not realize that that was there, so we're just gonna have to start it from over here. It's from the 50s. All right. Oh my god, why is that? There we go. Oh, it'll have to be. Okay. I see what's happening here. Let's get rid of that. I know what I got to do now. I don't like it, but I know what I got to do. I need to go into Adobe. Drop this here. And I need to make sure that it has no audio. Yeah, click the switch off. There we go. Why does Comrade Mickey dress like Walt? 4 reasons. All right. There we go. So are we ready? Gonna have to practice my my stuff. Give me a sec. A specter is haunting Europe. The specter of communism. All the powers of old Europe have entered into a holy alliance to exorcise this specter. Pope and Tsar, Metternich and Goizet, French radicals, and German police spies. Where is the party in opposition that has not been decried as communistic by its opponents in power? Where is the opposition that has not hurled back the branding reproach of communism against more advanced opposition parties, as well as against its reactionary adversaries? 2 things result from this fact. 1. Communism is already acknowledged by all European powers to be itself a power. And 2. It is high time that communists should openly, and in the face of the whole world, publish their views, their aims, their tendencies, and meet this nursery tale of the specter of communism with a manifesto of the party itself. To this end, communists of various nationalities have assembled in London and sketched the following manifesto, to be published in the English, French, German, Italian, Flemish, and Danish languages. Chapter 1. Bourgeoisie and Proletarians. The history of all hitherto existing society is the history of class struggles. Freedom and slave, partition and plebeian, lord and serf, guild master and journeyman. In a word, oppressor and oppressed, stood in constant opposition to one another, carried on an uninterrupted, now hidden, now open fight. A fight that each time ended either in a revolutionary reconstruction of society at large, or in the common ruin of contending classes. In the early epochs of history, we find almost everywhere a complicated arrangement of society into various orders, a manifold gradation of social rank. In ancient Rome, we have partitions, knights, plebeians, slaves. In the Middle Ages, feudal lords, vassals, guild masters, journeymen, apprentices, serfs. In almost all of these classes, again, subordinate generations. In the earlier epochs of history, the modern bourgeoisie society that has sprouted from the ruins of feudal society has not done away with class antagonisms. No, it has done but established new classes, new conditions of oppression, new forms of struggle in place of the old ones. Our epoch, the epoch of the bourgeoisie, possesses, however, this distinct feature. It has simplified class antagonisms. Society as a whole is more and more splitting up into 2 great hostile camps, into 2 great classes directly facing each other: bourgeoisie and proletariat. From the serfs of the Middle Ages sprang up the chartered burghers of the earliest towns. From these burghers, the first elements of bourgeoisie were developed. The discovery of America, the rounding of the Cape, opened up fresh ground for the rising bourgeoisie. The East Indian and Chinese markets, the colonialism of America, trade with the colonies, and increase in the means of exchange and in commodities generally, gave to commerce, to navigation, to industry,
an impulse never before known, and thereby to the revolutionary element in the tottering feudal society, a rapid development. The feudal system of industry, in which industrial production was monopolized by closed guilds, now no longer sufficed for the growing wants of the new markets. The manufacturing system took place. The guild masters were pushed on one side by the manufacturing middle class. Division of labor between the different corporate guilds vanished in the face of division of labor in each single workshop. Meantime, the markets kept ever growing, the demand ever rising. Even manufacturers no longer sufficed. Thereupon, steam and machinery revolutionized industrial production. The place of manufacture was taken by the giant modern industry. The place of the industrial middle class by industrial millionaires. The leaders of the whole industrial armies, the modern bourgeoisie. Modern industry has established the world market, for which the discovery of America paved the way. This market has given an immense development to commerce, to navigation, to communication by land. This development has in turn reacted on the extension of industry. And in proportion as industry, commerce, navigation, and railways extended, in the same proportion the bourgeoisie developed, increased its capital, and pushed into the background every class handed down from the Middle Ages. We see, therefore, how the modern bourgeoisie, in and of itself, is the product of a long course of development, of a series of revolutions in the modes of production and of exchange. Each step in the development, the bourgeoisie was accompanied by a corresponding political advance of that class. An oppressed class under the sway of feudal nobility, an armed class, and a self-governing association in the middle commune. Here, independent urban republic, as in Italy and Germany, there, taxable third estate of the monarchy, as in France. But don't you dare tax the Disney Corporation. Afterwards, in the period of manufacturing proper, serving either as semi-feudal or the absolute monarchy, as a counterpoise against the nobility, and in fact, cornerstone of the great monarchies in general. The bourgeoisie has at last, since the establishment of modern industry and the world market, conquered for itself, in the modern representative state, exclusive political sway. The execution of the modern state is but a committee for managing the common affairs of the whole bourgeoisie. The bourgeoisie historically has played a most revolutionary part. The bourgeoisie, wherever it has got the upper hand, has put an end to all feudal, patriarchal, idyllic relations. It has pitilessly torn asunder the motley feudal ties that bound man to his natural superiors, and has left remaining no other nexus between man and man of naked self-interest than often callous cash payment. It has drowned the most heavenly ecstasies of religious fervor, of chivalrous enthusiasm, of Philistine sentimentalism in the icy water of egotistical calculation. It has resolved personal worth into exchange value, and in place of the numberless, indefensible, chartered freedoms, has set up the single, unconscionable freedom, free trade. In one word, for exploitation, veiled by religious and political illusions, it has substituted naked, shameless, direct, and brutal exploitation. Now I have to pause for a sec.
So, have I got a story for everyone? Oh. One, we're going to have to do the Communist Manifesto in multiple parts. It's the only option we have. Also, somebody sent a treat. So, whoever sent a treat, thank you. But, I do have to say, one, I'm going to be ending the stream here in a second. Due mainly to exhaustion. Two, most importantly, a thing happened. Which is why I'm exhausted. This motherfucker had to walk through a doggy door. Okay? Let me explain why. So, this dumbass, not this dumbass, but the person who delivered the pizza. The person who delivered the pizza put the pizza on our front porch. Right in front of the door. The door that opens outwards. That door. So if the door opens like this, the pizza is right here. By opening the door, we would have knocked our pizza completely off. So to get pizza that somebody so graciously sent, again, whoever sent the pizza, thank you very much. I had to go through the doggy door to get into our backyard. Now, I got sent a treat. Now, not only is it really hard to get through the doggy door, I'm kind of a bigger guy, but on top of having to get through the doggy door, I then had the secondary problem. Now, what is the secondary problem? Well, that is that the entirety of the kitchen that was destroyed during the remodel is still in front of the door leading, or the gate door leading into the yard proper. So I had to go through the doggy door into the backyard, get out the gate, and then try to finagle getting over all of that. No, we don't have a regular back door. In order to get through all the debris, in order to get to the front of the house, and then grab the pizza. The debris filled with rusty nails and molded wood. That would have been fun to fall on. So that was fun.
You are gonna piss me off with that shit today, Growlithe. We're not doing it.
What's Growlithe doing?
She's tearing at the fucking pillows again.
Ah. Why is my house a hellish maze? Because I've been trying to repair it. We do have windows, but they're not all conveniently located in a way that would allow us to get stuff. Yeah, since David's actually been here, he knows the layout. He knows how... Like, you even know exactly where the, where the debris pile is. Ugh. I just got health coverage this year. I've had health coverage for all of 9 days, so no, I haven't gotten a tetanus shot yet. And yeah, some of the windows are a heights issue. This window right here is technically half a story up because the house is on a hill. So there are some areas of the house where you're effectively on a second story as far as your height is concerned. And then there are some areas on the house where you can legitimately hop out of the window without issue. Broken glass and mold. You don't have a yard. You have a low-tech security system. Yes, my yard is a low-tech security system. You're right. Sirius canonically lives on the side of a mountain. I do! No, seriously, this whole place is a giant slope. When it snows, we can go sledding. There we go. I've had pizza. There is this moat of glass. Jesus Christ. Pizza for the proletariat. So what we're going to do with the Communist Manifesto thing, if everybody's okay with it, reading the entire thing is going to take about 4 hours. So I'm going to do it in parts. So at the end of every stream, for a little while, we will slowly work our way through, and we will do Mickey Mouse Communist Manifesto. Quill, my minivan, did not like your house. I'm sorry! I'm sorry. Yeah, Jadamatic, if you want to clip each one and stick them together, that's fine. Know that I'm recording them as well. But by all means, clip away. Yes, the manifestos are going to be posted as separate videos. Please do clips of what I need for friends. Fair enough, and we will do that. I might post them all on a separate channel, not necessarily on this channel, just so they don't clog up the uploads. What did Starscream say about the proletariat at 1631? I don't know when that was. Starscream will have to restate it. What are friends and how do I get some? Ha! Also, and also, you're still monetized. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Give me a second. I'm sending a thing to Zod. Which will be just a second. There we go. Starstream says, I think most of us are closer to bourgeoisie than proletariat in Marx's eyes because we have homes, electricity, internet, computers, and phones. So I don't think so, because Marx's definition of the bourgeoisie is just the working class. You effectively are the working class. Having stuff, he would just say, is the end result of living in a capitalist society where things get cheaper. But just having stuff does not make you bourgeoisie or closer to bourgeoisie. The thing is, though, is that the first world could be seen as Boers, as Boers in comparison to the third world, sure, but in a given society, you are still necessarily working class, and you are still part of that framework of class struggle. Like, proletariat's the working class. Like, he would see the first and third world as necessarily opposed as a method of in class struggle, because from his understanding, we would be exploiting them, but it's not always in the sense of them being workers. No, proletariat's working class, not bourgeoisie's working class. Sorry. Marxism is a framework. It's used for global and local perspective. It's not more global than local, or more local than global. It's just a framework, like a lens to view things through. Like, through his line, you have the aristocracy, which is your upper class. You have the bourgeoisie, which is your upper middle class. Aristocracy is your highest class of society. Though, in general, though, bourgeoisie also gets used as a more broad term in Marxism as well, to encompass the aristocracy, depending on how you're reading it. So there's both nationalist Marxism as well as globalist Marxism that are valid. Nationalist Marxism isn't just failed Marxism. I mean, so you can't say that an ideology on its own or a framework on its own is necessarily failed or succeeded if we're just viewing them in a vacuum. Alex Jones has yelled at people who support Q now. Oh, boy. That's good. Yeah, the problem with communism in general is that it's not existed outside of like a totalitarian system. It's very rarely existed in like a system that would be seen as functional via pure theory. The Bible says, sell all you have and give to the poor, but then buy guns. Sell everything you have and give to the poor, but then buy guns. Bourgeoisie and proletariat were both defined by Karl Marx. Simply put, the bourgeoisie are the people who own the means of production, and the proletariat are the workers who produce those goods. That's why I was saying that it's generally seen as an umbrella term. Like, there are people who break them down into subcategories, your aristocracy, your bourgeoisie, your petite bourgeoisie, etc. But if you're just looking through a straight-up Marxist perspective, your class struggle is bourgeois versus proletariat. Many First Nations were communist and had a lot of white settlers defect to them because they couldn't survive under the crown. Makes sense. Basically, people take two seamlessly contrary parts of Luke out of context of each other to say Yeshua is a left commie or a right NRA when the actual moral is situational morality. Makes sense. Basically, PragerU does the whole, like, Jesus would have been a free market capitalist off of that. Let's see. Okay. All right. Well, with that said, I think we are definitely comfortable at the end of the stream. We've had our adventures in doggy doors. We've had our complete and total collapse of mental faculties. I think we are ready to go ahead and end things. Thank you all for watching. I want to thank everybody for hopping out. It's been great hanging out with y'all. Hopefully, I will see you all either tomorrow or Monday.